Health Secretary nominee RFK Jr. claiming America's addicted to drugs. This is sometimes people are born genetically larger.
I didn't mean to.
The first line of response should be lifestyle.
And I don't understand why you want to be in my business.
So this is the type of video that if you're sensitive, you might not want to watch, because RFK Jr. has definitely been critical of the drug Ozempic, and ladies on The View did not take that very well. In fact, they lost it. Now, before we get to what they had to say, let's look at what RFK Jr. said about the drug.
How do you feel about GOP-1 drugs? Do you think that they are a net positive?
I think the best thing is the first line of response should be lifestyle. It should be eating well, making sure that you don't get obese, and that those GLP drugs are, have a place.
Well, I find a lot of people want to put words in your mouth. A lot of people want to say, you know what, this guy is not in favor of all vaccines. That's just untrue.
Yeah, that's untrue.
Good. I wanted to know that because I think that I'm tired of people lying about you, okay?
Now, the only reason why this is even a controversial thing is because RFK Jr. clearly has been nominated to be the director of the Department of Health and Human Services. And so he would obviously impact that industry and their ability to sell that drug, because the government wants to subsidize it. And RFK Jr. is totally against that. In fact, he believes that the government just took that same money, whatever they want to subsidize, and just gave it to Americans to get a gym membership, to buy 3 organic meals, right? And to seek actual counseling. And if the government paid for all that, we would be healthier as a country. Now, before I really give you my whole thoughts about all this, here is what Whoopi Goldberg had to say about this, because clearly she didn't like it, and I'm sure you know why.
There could be a White House drug war brewing over anti-obesity meds like Ozempic. Health Secretary nominee RFK Jr. has railed against them, claiming America's addicted to drugs and weight loss should come from diet and exercise. But Elon Musk, nominee for the just made up Department of Government Efficiency and the actual real VP, wants to expand, yeah, you heard me, wants to expand access, saying nothing would do more to improve the health, lifespan, and quality of life for Americans than making the drugs affordable for everyone. Now, most Americans agree with Elon Musk, but, the question is, who's the boss going to side with? But I just want to throw this out, because the medical cost of adult obesity-related disease in the U.S. range from $147 billion to nearly $210 billion per year. Yeah. So what is the downside of a miracle drug that cuts that much out of the budget? And if someone's doctor examines them, prescribes a medication, shouldn't that be the only metric of healthcare coverage? Why should a numbers cruncher with no medical background have any say? And I don't understand why you want to be in my business.
Okay, so let's just address a few things. Number one, let's put this into different buckets. There's the bucket where people clearly need to be prescribed something like this because they do have a certain condition at this point, right? That I'm not going to talk about those individuals. I'm talking about the individuals who have not actually legitimately tried to lose weight whatsoever. They are continuing to make poor lifestyle choices, and they're looking for a shortcut. This is what's wrong with America. We are addicted to consumption. We actually don't want to do the work. We want to have convenience. We want to find the best and fastest and quickest way to get a result. And that comes at a cost, right? Because life is trade-offs. And an example of that trade-off by taking this type of drug is the long-term safety is unknown. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 20, 30 years by taking something like this because we haven't been able to study it for that long.
This isn't just about food.
No, it's not.
This is sometimes people are born genetically larger.
Agreed. I didn't mean to.
No, I know you didn't. But I want to say this to
RFK.
That's his name. Because you're setting folks up for shame.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying. Maybe you don't know you're doing. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say you don't know, you don't realize what you do to people when you say stuff like that, because it doesn't work for everybody. And I'm going to show you, sir, because I weighed close to 300 less than 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And without the Mounjaro, this would not have happened.
There you go.
Take it off. Take it off.
Now, please do not take it off, right? Listen, let me just address this whole myth that people are born fat because, guys, that is a lie, by the way. The reason why people obviously become obese is due to multitude of things, okay? And I'm going to give you the top three. One, it's a psychological thing. They are programmed to be overweight. These are individuals that grow up in a family where everyone is overweight. So they see that their parents are overweight, their uncle is overweight, and the way that they eat in the family causes them to be overweight. That's number one. Secondly, the lifestyle choices. Are they active? Do they go outside? Who do they spend their time with? Are they spending their time with people who are in shape, or are they not? And then number three, the food that they're eating and how it impacts the genetics that have been passed down to them. So for an example, diabetes runs in my family. This is why I stay away from sugar. See, things like that actually contributes to why people are overweight.
This worked for me. This may work for y'all. You cannot take it out of people's hands if it can help. Because if we can keep people healthy, if we can get rid of diabetes, if we can get rid of all of the things cardiovascular, what's wrong with trying to do that?
Nothing.
You're wrong on this, R.
Also, the side effects are not horrible. But what does Kimberly Guilfoyle think of it? That's what I want to know.
She's going to agree she got a body now.
Yeah. Where does Elon Musk come and RFK Jr., two medical experts? Who are they?
Elon's right on this.
Elon's right on this.
Yeah.
Also, maybe the brainworm will shrink. Never mind.
Okay, so Joy is a pathetic individual who has nothing better to say than to obviously tear people down, but then complains about it when it happens to her, right? So there's that. Now, getting back to the actual losing of the weight and why these drugs are actually not the answer. Now, will they work short term? Of course they will. Everybody knows that. But long term, what are the impacts? That is what we don't know. Here's another thing. When you're taking a drug that modifies the biology of your body, right, there are going to be some drawbacks to that. We have to understand the human body is perfectly designed to heal itself. But if you're not eating the right food and you're not living the right lifestyle and you don't think like a healthy person, then you can't expect to get the outcomes that you're really looking for as it pertains to your health. Even though you may see people who lose weight on this drug, it still does not mean that they're healthy. This is why RFK Jr. is so important. What's really killing people and why we're overweight to begin with is not because we're born that way. It's because of what's in our food. And that's why the drug companies who push these types of products don't want you to buy into that type of mindset, because then what would be the purpose of their drug at that point? Now, this is why they're trying to get the government to subsidize it. And here is Sonny Holston speaking on that.
About this healthcare insurance issue, one thing that I was just reading is that Medicare is not allowed to cover medications used for weight loss alone. When are we going to start taking care of people in our society that are older, that have given in to this?
You rarely see a really fat old person. You know why? Because they die. That is the fact.
Well, the other thing,
they die because they're overweight.
Because they're overweight. The other thing,
it's true. They have heart attacks.
And then the other,
all the diseases.
But the one last thing I'll say is,
you're not overweight, Whoopi.
One of the one last things that I'll say is that Wegovy is covered for obesity by Medicare, but only if the patient already has cardiovascular disease.
Yeah. Well, so in addition
this
to
does not make any sense.
Yeah, it would make sense to individuals like you, because you guys are only looking to actually treat the symptoms. You're not looking to treat the root cause. And it's exactly what I've been saying throughout this entire video. Okay, you don't die because you're overweight. Okay, you die because you're unhealthy in your body. You're not eating correctly. You're not living the right lifestyle. And I guarantee you're not thinking positively either on a daily basis. I mean, it really is that simple. And because it's that simple, most Americans will refuse to accept it. And it's because we've been programmed to believe that we need that secret, most new, groundbreaking drug to solve whatever problem we're having in our life. And really, the solution is in here and in here. I mean, that's just the bottom line to it. Just so you guys know, this isn't my opinion. Let's just look at the facts. According to the CDC, the number one killer of Americans is heart disease, and number two is cancer. You do not get heart disease from being overweight. You get heart disease by what you eat. normally, okay? Generally speaking here, right? And what would be that? Processed foods is what causes heart disease, okay? And I will also say this, think about the food that you eat today versus what your grandparents were eating 50 years ago. I mean, how many fast food restaurants existed back then? Also, how many fake foods existed back then when you walked into the grocery store? It's like night and day. People, we live in a capitalist system. You honestly think these food companies, these drug companies really care about your health? Absolutely, they don't. They have shareholders. They're trying to turn a profit at the best of their ability. And that means they're going to sell out our health every step of the way. Now, I'm going to prove to you how simple it is to start living a healthy lifestyle by you answering this question. What is the one thing that you know you could be doing differently that would allow you to live a healthier lifestyle? Just put that in the comment section. Just one thing. You know you should be doing it. You haven't been doing it. You could start doing it today. Maybe you're waiting until the new year. Doesn't matter. But just answer the question. What's that one thing for you? It could be as simple as walking or actually working out or being a part of a sport or actually eating earlier or later or starting your day off with intermittent fasting or drinking more water or being on time with your vitamins. I mean, there is so simple. You don't have to overthink it. Just do one thing differently and watch how much of an impact it might have on your life. Now, this next video that you might be interested in is actually pretty funny because as we've been talking about health, and clearly Trump is not the healthiest person. I mean, this guy eats McDonald's, but he has great genetics, clearly. Well, anyways, he won the Time Magazine Person of the Year. And yes, we did have a few meltdowns that we'd love to show you as we react to that story. So if you want to check out that video, all you have to do is click on it because it's coming up right now.